In the last session, we completed about air pollution and its control. Now, in this session, we shall see about water pollution and its control. We know that water bodies are our lifeline. So, we know that without water, there cannot be the presence of life. And we know there are so many types of water bodies here. Okay, the water bodies like ponds, lakes, streams, right, rivers, then estuaries. So estuaries are the locations where the river meets the sea. So wherever that locations where the river meets the sea is what we call estuaries and oceans. So these are different water bodies, and of course, out of these, the ponds, lakes, streams, and rivers are the one that actually provide fresh water. So these are the one they provide fresh water, right? And in case of estuaries, this is a one that contains brackish waters which are neither salty nor fresh water, so they are in between, not too salty like these oceans. And so these oceans will include the marine water. And so whatever that water available as a fresh water will come from these ponds, lakes, streams, rivers, etc. Right now, all these water bodies are getting polluted day by day. Right. So let's see, these water bodies are getting polluted, and this pollution is all across the world. So it's taking place, getting polluted all around the world, not just in India. Now, let us say that what are the measures that we need to take to prevent this pollution of water bodies. And before that, we should also know what are the causes of this water pollution. Then only we can come to know that how to stop the water pollution. Now, to prevent this water pollution, government of India have passed a water act in 1974. So that is in 1974, government of India passed water act, right? So that's which includes the prevention and control of pollution, prevention and control of pollution of the water bodies, right? So that's the water act 1974. So this is to protect the water resources, right? So this act will help to protect the water resources. Now, let us see the causes of water pollution. So under this, I am going to talk about the domestic sewage and industrial effluents. Domestic sewage and industrial effluents. So here domestic sewage, which means all that sewage from households. So all that sewage that's washing the clothes, the whatever the water used for washing the clothes and then taking the bath and okay washing the dishes and whatever that all that will be what we call it domestic sewage, and industrial effluents meaning, okay, the sewage that comes from industries. So sewage from industries. Now these sewage waters, either, okay, that is domestic sewage or the industrial effluents, right? So these are actually transported to nearby water bodies like rivers. So they are releasing these sewage waters and industrial effluents. We know in the villages, okay, in the villages how the what will be the quantity of domestic sewage produced, and in a small, okay, town, and then when it comes to the cities and then it goes to metro cities, then you can see that, okay, in the metro cities where the production of the sewage is very very high, and now even the metro cities may have a lot of industries, they may also produce okay, a lot of industrial effluents. Now where is this industrial effluents and domestic sewage going on? I mean, they are actually releasing the domestic sewage and industrial effluents to nearby water bodies, maybe a pond if it is available, or right, the rivers. So in most of the cases, okay, it's the rivers where they are passing these effluents into them. Like in case of Agra, is a location where you find lot of industries and a lot of okay, industrial effluents is being released into that, okay, Yamuna river. And even in the case of Ganga, so later we will see about them. So this Ganga and Yamuna, they got polluted a lot, and now we are struggling to, right, remove all those wastes and again make the water clear. Anyway, all those things we will see in the coming sessions, right? So just 0.1% of impurities can make, right, the domestic sewage unfit for human use. So you can say that it has 99.9%. So 99.9% of water is present, and just 0.1% of impurities. So if it is the case, then this water is unfit for human use. So just 0.1% is enough to be present in the waters, okay, to make it unfit for human use. That's what I say here. So this is now is a sewage water. So this is a sewage water and unfit for human use. Now what this 0.1% of impurities are? Now let's say, so those 0.1% of impurities include, so what it all includes: one, suspended solids. So these suspended solids will be like sand, silt, okay, clay, etc. So they are all, they come under suspended solids. The next one are colloidal materials. So these colloidal materials will include fecal, that is fecal matter, okay, of human beings. Then it may also include bacteria. Then the cloth what we throw it okay, to outside into the drainages, and then paper fibers, etc. So these all will come under these colloidal materials. So suspended solids include sand, silt, clay, etc. Whereas colloidal materials will include fecal matter, bacteria, cloth, okay, and paper fibers, etc. Then it also has dissolved materials. So these dissolved materials will be nutrients, and those nutrients like right, nitrates you may see in them. Then it may also have okay, phosphates, and may have sodium, okay, right, calcium, etc. So these are all the dissolved materials. So it may have nitrates, phosphate, sodium, okay, calcium, and many other okay substances may be present. So this 0.1% of impurities may include okay, mainly these three things like suspended solids, colloidal materials, and right, dissolved materials. Now out of these solids are easy to remove. So whatever that solids are easy to remove, but what the problem that comes with is the dissolved salts, right? And what we say, it is difficult to remove dissolved salts. It is difficult to okay, remove the dissolved salts. So you can see these are the dissolved salts and all, okay. It's very quite difficult, including the organic matter also. Not only these dissolved salts, the dissolved salts which include these okay, nitrates, okay, and then phosphates, and also it will include some toxic metal ions. So they are also we find difficult in removing them. And also these okay, and also organic compounds, so these substances, it's very quite difficult to remove. So we say that solids are easy, we can remove easily, but what we find okay, difficult in removing is this nitrates, phosphates, which we call them dissolved salts, and then toxic metal ions may be present coming from the okay, industries, right, or maybe sometimes even from right, domestic sewage too, or and also from okay, organic compounds which are present okay, in the sewage waters. Now this domestic sewage, mainly it has biodegradable organic matter, degradable organic matter. So whatever that the food okay, items we throw into the drainages, and all together that will right, make the organic matter in the sewage water. And now this organic matter, as I already mentioned, it is a biodegradable. So this organic matter readily decomposes. So this whatever the organic matter which I'm telling, it readily decomposes, okay, right. And this decomposition is brought about by the action of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms, okay, and is brought by okay, bacteria, fungi, etc., right. Now these microorganisms, these microorganisms, okay, will obtain energy by oxidizing the organic matter. So they are going to oxidize this organic matter, and in turn what they will get is energy, right? So these are the microorganisms which will depend on the organic matter, and that is like a source of food for them, okay, and they are going to use them in the generation of energy which will be required for their, okay, survival purpose. So here we can actually estimate the amount of biodegradable organic matter present in sewage water, right? We can estimate the amount of biodegradable organic matter present in sewage water. So how we are able to estimate the amount of biodegradable organic matter in sewage water is just by, okay, measuring the biochemical oxygen demand. So this is done by measuring something called biochemical oxygen demand. So that's, we call it BOD in short, biological oxygen demand. Already in microbes in human welfare, you have come across with the BOD. There also, when actually we have studied sewage treatment, okay. So here the point, in many villages and okay, towns, the sewage is not treated, and that untreated sewage is being released into these rivers or ponds nearby and polluting them. So compulsory the sewage treatment plants have to be established in every places, so that the sewage water treated, and then only the clean water should be released into the water bodies. Otherwise we know that this whole biosphere, every organism depends on some other organism. So it's like a chain that if it results in the extinction of some other species in course of time, that will finally affect the, okay, the survival of humans itself. So hence we have to take care of every living organisms on this planet, right? Now the right, so the, in the sewage water we can actually estimate the amount of that biodegradable organic matter, and that by calculating this biological oxygen demand. So the BOD we have come across is the amount of okay, oxygen consumed by, so here again I'm just mentioning amount of oxygen consumed by the bacteria to oxidize the organic matter present in 1 liter of water. Now here, as these bacteria or the microorganisms consume a lot of oxygen, there will be a sharp decline in the dissolved oxygen. So that's what here, right? So if there is a more organic matter, then there will be more number of bacteria, and they will consume more amount of oxygen. So these as the microorganisms consume more amount of oxygen, there is a sharp decline in the dissolved oxygen. So if the dissolved oxygen decreases in the waters, then obviously it results in the death of fish and all other aquatic organisms.